Could the cost of defending America destroy America? This week, watch ABC's World News Tonight.
Tonight on Newswatch 7 Update, Wayne Williams will appeal his double murder conviction in Atlanta. A new Safeway store opens in Omaha, but not with the Safeway name. The deadline for draft registration is at midnight, although many young men have not registered. And if you're looking to adopt, why not consider a burro? Those stories and more are coming up.
The Taylors are going on vacation again. Not to the beach or the mountains, not to a desert resort or a dude ranch, not this year. With the help of Doughboy, creator of the original portable pool, they've built a mini resort in their own backyard. Like millions of Americans, they've discovered that living at home can mean a lot more than just staying at home.
Take a good time home today from the Recroom Shoppe.
The only real insect problem I have is rootworms. That's why I've always used Thymet on my corn. Thymet works. And it's the lowest cost of all the major rootworm products. But this year, I'm gonna switch. It's a new Thymet 20G. It's more concentrated, so it goes further. I don't have to fill up my hoppers so often. Low cost, good protection. I wouldn't use anything else on my corn but Thymet, unless it's new Thymet 20G.
Herpes, a disease with no cure. This recent series by Carol Schrader has prompted an overwhelming response from our viewers. At the conclusion of Carol's series, Equilibria, a local health clinic, had already received over 650 calls concerning herpes. Roger Kronholm, executive director of the clinic, calls this an unprecedented response. If you still have questions concerning the disease, we urge you to call Equilibria. Giving you the facts about issues that concern your health is one more way 7 can help.
This is 7 TV. This is Newswatch 7 Update with Jerry Fannin, meteorologist Don Novak, and sports with Ross Jernstrom.
Good evening, everyone. Wayne Williams began serving his life sentences today for the murders of 2 young Atlanta black men. Williams was said to be in good spirits following his convictions last night, but he told his lawyers he does want to appeal. ABC's Bob Serkin reports from Atlanta that there's also new evidence linking the 23-year-old Williams to nearly all of the 28 Atlanta murders.
Let's see, Wayne Williams.
Today, defense lawyer Al Binder visited his convicted client in the Fulton County Jail. Wayne Williams wanted to talk about appealing his double life sentence. Atlanta's newspaper made a banner headline out of the verdict reached by the 12-member jury, 3 of whom reportedly began the deliberations believing Williams was innocent. Published reports say that investigators have developed fiber evidence and found other similarities linking Williams to 24 more murders and 1 other not on the police task force list, that those cases would be closed out. But Atlanta's district attorney disputes that report.
First of all, do you have enough evidence where you can close out 26 of these cases, plus the other one not on the list as reported in the paper?
I believe not. There will be some meetings in the next few days about certain cases, but I don't believe that there would be that figure.
Lawyer Al Binder says Williams was discouraged by the newspaper report.
Well, he had hoped that investigations would continue, because if any one of the pattern or any other alleged part of this case, any one of these other murders were solved, that would tend to exonerate him in his views.
Tomorrow, the heads of 12 metropolitan Atlanta police agencies meet here to discuss the disposition of the unsolved murders. At that time, the Special Police Task Force is expected to be disbanded, the unsolved cases to be handled individually. Bob Serkin, ABC News, Atlanta.
According to reports out today, the initial deployment of the MX missile will take place in Nebraska, Wyoming, and Colorado. The Los Angeles Times reports that the Pentagon has decided to put 40 of the new missiles in those 3 states using the existing Minuteman silos. Also, that as many as 14 additional silos will be built around them to hide the MX. The Pentagon had been expected to announce a decision on the MX placement in early March.
It's the first TV super special from Pepperoni's. This huge pitcher of Coke free, or this gargantuan pitcher of beer for only 50 cents, or a half liter of wine for just 50 cents. No coupons to clip. Just order this pizza in medium or large and get the pitcher of Coke free, or this pitcher of beer or a half liter of wine for just 50 cents. It's another ragged edge of incredible offer from Pepperoni's, good now through February.
Pepperoni's Pizza, you're gonna get it here.
Whether you want self-serve or full-serve, Amoco takes care of both of you.
Ethan Allen is having an old-fashioned winter sale, a new-fashioned winter sale, an elegant winter sale, a country winter sale. Right now, you can save on an incredible selection of Ethan Allen furniture and accessories to fit any lifestyle. Well, almost any. At Ethan Allen, we help you make beautiful rooms.
Carriage House, an Ethan Allen Gallery, 108th and Pacific.
Where else can you buy this, for this, and get this? Only at Curtis Mathis Home Entertainment Centers. We invite you to compare our quality, warranty, service, and yes, even our price. You might pay a little more now, but you won't spend another dime on service for the next 4 years. And maybe not even then. Come in and compare Curtis Mathis. We think you'll agree. It's worth it.
Aliens Under Glass, so kind of you to tune in. We, the Omaha Magic Theatre, present a preview for you of the planet Earth, Aliens Under Glass, a new musical, open Saturday, February 20th. Performances Fridays through Mondays, February 20th through March 1st, 8:30 at the Omaha Magic Theatre, 1417 Farnham in downtown Omaha.
4 Tanzanian hijackers today released all their hostages and gave themselves up. The jetliner they had been holding since Friday had been flown to an airport north of London. The 4 hijackers had demanded the ouster of the president of Tanzania, but British police persuaded them today to release more than 90 passengers and surrender. The historic contract agreement between Ford and its auto workers has been ratified. After 8 days of voting, members of the United Auto Workers have approved the contract, which will take effect tomorrow. Under the agreement, Ford employees agree to give up cost of living raises in return for job security. Pope John Paul today told other nations to stay out of El Salvador. In his Sunday message at the Vatican, the Pope says he supports the March elections for a new government in the Central American nation, and for the first time, the pontiff criticized foreign intervention into the affairs of El Salvador, which presumably would include the United States. 4 American men born in the years 1960 to 1964, today was the final day to sign up for draft registration. After midnight tonight, those who did not will technically be in violation of the law. But ABC's Susan King reports there's some disagreement over just how much violation there will be.
Since the Reagan administration extended draft registration, the number of 18 to 22-year-olds signing up has increased. But close to 1 million young men have not registered, although the administration has threatened them with prosecution and bombarded them with media reminders.
So if you're supposed to register, go do it. You've got till the end of February, no questions asked. After that, you're in a heap of trouble.
That heap of trouble, up to 5 years in prison and a $10,000 fine, didn't convince 21-year-old Michael SLOSS to register.
People do not want to go to war. They do not want to see their friends go to war. They do not want to see this country moving in its foreign policy in the direction that it has under the Reagan administration.
It's hard to determine how many who didn't register share a similar conviction. Demonstrations against draft registration, like this one in New York last summer, are rare. The Selective Service insists ignorance, not convictions, contributed to high non-registration numbers, leaving Major General Thomas Turnage pleading for last-minute sign-ups, not shouting demands.
The objective here is not to prosecute or incarcerate or take any punitive action against these young men. What we want them to do is to take their responsibility for registering along with all of their contemporaries.
But the Selective Service understanding in one breath is hardline in the next. Attorney General William French Smith has made it clear resistors will have no second chance. But resistors say they'll take their chances, that tracking down and prosecuting almost 1 million young men is too expensive and too complicated. And the Justice Department concedes that it has no plan of action and that it will be spring before there's a list of violators. Susan King, ABC News, Washington.
The Safeway chain may be closing down Omaha stores bearing the Safeway name, but that did not prevent a new Safeway store from opening today under a different name. Newswatch 7's Clark Jessen reports that the new warehouse store may provide job opportunities for laid-off employees.
The sign on the huge new store says Food Barn, Safeway's version of the warehouse-style market. But this was originally supposed to be the largest Safeway in Nebraska. The chain decided to change that months ago when another warehouse operation moved in next door. Running the store as a food barn will mean fewer employees, about 55, and lower wages than conventional stores. And Richard Knight of Safeway says this new food barn will inherit at least a few workers from other Safeway stores when they close.
The union contracts have language in them that will govern how the staffing of the store is handled at the time that the conventional stores are closed. There is some seniority language in the contract that will cause us to have to offer the jobs here in the store to some of those employees, yes.
That means employees who helped open the store may face temporary employment only. We asked Mary Prassel if she was told that when she got the job.
I didn't know when I signed on, but I am aware of it now.
But you wanted the job anyway?
Yes. They say they can bump us, but it's not likely.
So you think the chances are good that you'll be able to stay here?
Yes.
Safeway officials say this food barn is large enough to do the business 3 or 4 other stores have been doing. And even as Safeway prepares to pull out of Omaha, it also says it doesn't rule out opening other food barns if this one catches on. Clark Jessen, Newswatch 7 update.
Nebraska will officially have a new U.S. Marshal tomorrow, although he has already gone to work. Thomas O'Hara, a retired Air Force officer from Bellevue, will be sworn in Monday afternoon in Lincoln. O'Hara spent last week at the Federal Training Center in Georgia, where he found that the government doesn't mind having such a political position in law enforcement.
What they look forward to in law enforcement, and it's a matter of government function, is the new ideas, the different personalities, the changing perspectives that a patronage system affords law enforcement.
O'Hara is a Republican appointed by President Reagan. He becomes Nebraska's 30th U.S. Marshal.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Minnesota Orchestra, one of the world's finest symphony orchestras, under the direction of the world-renowned Neville Mariner, comes to Omaha Tuesday, March 2nd, for one notable night.
The Taylors are going on vacation again. Not to the beach or the mountains, not to a desert resort or a dude ranch, not this year. With the help of Doughboy, creator of the original portable pool, they've built a mini resort in their own backyard. Like millions of Americans, they've discovered that living at home can mean a lot more than just staying at home.
Take a good time home today from the Recroom Shoppe.
In the past 11 years, he's printed 4 million posters and 4,000 shirts, and I washed them all in one washer, a Frigidaire.
In the past 11 years, I've splashed thousands of miles of mud on thousands of flashy colors.
And I washed them all in one washer, a Frigidaire.
In the past 11 years, my 3 linebackers brought home 3,000 filthy jerseys, all washed in one washer, a Frigidaire.
Frigidaire, here today, here tomorrow.
Week in and week out, Tretiak saves you money on Armstrong's Designer Solarian, the sunny floor with the beautiful richness of deep-down inlaid color. With Solarian, you get inlaid color that comes from a buildup of thousands of color granules beneath the mirror bond surface that shines without waxing. The result is a floor of remarkable depth, design realism, and damage-resistant toughness. With a Tretiak discount, it doesn't cost much more to go first class. See Omaha's largest inventory of Armstrong's Designer Solarian at Tretiak's in downtown Omaha.
Well, the weekend was just peachy keen. Is that a correct assessment?
Not bad. Yeah, that's about how I would describe it, too. It's pretty nice. And tomorrow and Tuesday looks like it's going to be pretty nice also.
Good.
Taking a look at our current conditions, not too awfully bad out there right now. A little bit chilly. Omaha reporting clear skies and 36. Down Lincoln, it's clear and 31. Our dew point stands at 26 degrees here in Omaha. That gives us a relative humidity of 66%. The winds are calm and the barometer is rising. High temperatures around the region today, a nice narrow band of the 30s and 40-degree readings, but the big story was down off towards the south and southwest where temperatures were generally in the 60s. The rest of the region, most of it in the 50s, and as I say, we got up to 50 right here in Omaha itself, and then a narrow band of 40s and a few 30s off to the extreme northeast. As we look at our satellite map from starting at 6:30 this evening, you can see some shower activity that had just moved out of Iowa. That was with that little upper air disturbance that moved through the frontal system itself, and as we move ahead on the satellite sequence, we'll go all the way up to 10 o'clock this evening. That's moving rapidly off. You can see some more clouds, though, starting to shape up out here towards the west. Still quite a long ways away. The little bit of high cloudiness that was over is pretty well dissipating and moving on out. This band of clouds will stay off to the west, looks like, for another day and a half, 2 days before we really start getting it into our region. As we look at our almanac from this afternoon, then we can see that the low temperature officially was 33 degrees. The high this afternoon climbed up to 50. And there is no precipitation. Sun rises at 6:59 tomorrow morning and sets at 14 minutes after 6 tomorrow evening. On the national map then, the low-pressure systems that brought the snow yesterday have moved off. Now still a little band of fog and drizzle, some showers along the tip of Florida itself down there. This frontal system moving on across the span of showers that we saw on the satellite moved on out now into the Great Lakes region. Just some light intermittent shower activity there. And the high pressure starting to push in. Looks like that's going to push this front down off towards the east of us, so it doesn't look like it's going to come yet down in our area. Back off to the west, starting to show a little bit more widespread type precipitation with the frontal system just starting to move on the coast there. As we look at the forecast map for tomorrow morning, we can see then that that system will continue pushing on down here, the high pressure building on down, but it looks like, as I say, Nebraska and the southwestern portions of Iowa will stay in the warm sector of that region. Off to the west, that frontal system continues to push in. By Tuesday, you can see that that system will be pushing on across. We can move ahead to Tuesday's map, and that low-pressure system will be dropping on down. But still on Tuesday, it looks like we'll stay in the warm sector, but then this frontal system will be coming through on Wednesday. Things are going to cool off quite rapidly below normal by Wednesday, but for the next couple days anyway, it's still going to be nice. As we look at our computer then right now, we can see how it shapes up for tomorrow. Winky says it's going to be a good day to try and get the day off and stay home, or can go out and do some nice activities around the region. Generally mostly sunny skies. Temperatures will be in the 30s and 40s up towards the northeast. Generally 50s in our area, 60s and 70s off towards the southwest. The details of my latest forecast then, as we look at a clear radar, call for fair skies and mild temperatures tonight, low of getting down to about 30. Winds will be light and variable. Tomorrow, look for mostly sunny skies, warmer temperatures, and as I say, good weather for skipping work and staying outdoors and having a good time. High temperature up to 55, winds out of the southwest at 10 to 20. Tomorrow night, fair, continued mild, low of 36. And then on Tuesday, mostly sunny, but clouds on the increase late in the day. High climbing up to around 64, looks like right now. And then, as I say, by Wednesday, going to get cold again. Probably a high in Wednesday and Thursday in the 20s to low 30s.
Yeah, the bosses are really going to love you tomorrow.
Yes, for sure.
As I recall, there's just, what, 3 weeks of winter left. Are the cold temperatures gone for good now, you think?
Probably the bitterly cold. We can still get, like our low temperature record for today was still 11 below zero, but we're on the offset of it, you know, getting away from it. It's still going to have a few cold snaps, but not the bitterly cold, I'd hope.
Okay. Thank you, Don. Have you ever thought of adopting a burro? Well, surprisingly, many people have. Newswatch 7's Lisa Reedman went to Valley today to find out why.
Now, wouldn't you love one of these friendly burros in your backyard? Believe it or not, many people travel to the Midwest Wild Horse Adoption Center in Valley to adopt a burro of their own. Why would someone want a burro? Manager of the Adoption Center, Mike Zeiss, says people want the burros for all sorts of reasons, but most of